A former longtime executive in Rockford Public Schools and his wife will answer 2 felony charges next month. They're accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from his mother. Todd Schmidt was the chief operating officer for District 205 from 2009 through 2018 before becoming the Elmhurst School District Director of Facilities. According to a police report, Schmidt and his wife Rita are accused of using his mother Josephine's money without permission after Schmidt's father died in February of 2018. Police say relatives estimate the Schmidts stole about $229,000 by way of forged checks, forged student loans, credit card charges, and moving money from Josephine's pension to a personal account. The police report says it was Todd's sister who tipped them off. Schmidt and his wife face charges that include ID theft of a person 60 years or older and financial exploitation of an elderly person. The charges carry a maximum sentence of 30 years for Rita Schmidt and 33 for Todd Schmidt.